Any other comments? All right, we have a motion on the floor. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
Item 35, Resolution 907, is to direct the Knox County Internal Auditor to engage in an audit of the Knox County Schools PPU Physical Plan Upgrade account to provide a detailed itemization and evaluation of funds deposited and dispersed from the account, including the purpose funds were used and to whom funds were dispersed, and whether disbursements are consistent with the budget resolution of the Commission and in compliance with all applicable policies, rules, and procedures.
Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Is there? All right, we have Commissioner Owenby as the first, and then Commissioner Brown will be the second. Commissioner Owenby.
Thank you, Chairman. I brought this to the Audit Committee. I came to the meeting last week, and I brought it to them because on February 24th I had requested information on the PPU account from the school system. And on the 28th I sent a reminder, February, and they said that they were working on it. Another week and a half went by and I still did not receive any information. So that's the reason I brought it to the Audit Committee to try to gather this information, because I have gathered a lot of information about this account and funds that's been put into it and taken out. One example is this body approved the purchase of land for the North Shore Elementary for $800,000. It was later ended up the price was almost 1.7 million is the cost of the land. The money was paid for the land out of the PPU account, and the $800,000 was never used. It was still in the regular line item for North Shore Elementary. So it was brought. When I looked at it, I thought, well, the PPU account is set up for physical plant upgrades. That's for electrical, plumbing, HVAC units, stuff like that. It is not supposed to go for new build. And that's what this one thing that really brought. And as I dig into it, there's more issues that I see, and I'm not an accountant, but it just seemed stuff was coming out of it, like purchase of a piano for the North Shore Elementary, keyboard, band equipment, things like that. That is not what the PPU account is supposed to be used for. Also, the budget was set for the North Shore Elementary at $15.5 million. Total cost, counting what PPU account and everything, is $18.3 million, and we're still collecting bills on it. So we haven't even finished what. So to say that it's come under budget and on time is incorrect, because that's not the case. There was bush hogging of the site, $1,750 that came out of the PPU. Legal fees and title insurance came out of the PPU at $7,600. The land purchase, like I said, of $1.656 million. We have furniture that came out of the PPU for the North Shore Elementary at $235,000, almost $236,000. It goes on as you look, more information. STEM Academy, we approved it $2.25 million. It ended up costing $4.5 million for the renovation of that, and it wasn't even bidded out because they didn't go through the purchase department, because they would have to bid it out. It was the landlord entered an agreement to renovate it, and the schools paid the landlord to pay the contract out of the PPU account. And I know y'all, I got the information that they finally sent, and I don't know if anybody else has had a chance to look at it. It's on 3 font. I mean, you can't even read the thing. It's so small. You have to enlarge it and just to be able to read it. And another thing that really caught my eye was the $13.95 million that we authorized them for capital improvement plans last year was set on the line items and then transferred into the PPU account. Okay, and what happens is, once they spent the money, if there's any overages or whatever, it goes in and stays in their PPU account. If any shortages, if it come under budget, instead of that money coming back to the county, it stays in their PPU account. Their PPU account 2 years ago reached as high as $30 million in their PPU account. It has never fallen below $10 million in any given year. So all that money that we gave them for capital improvement went into PPU. And instead of tracking it better, like the security at $3.9 million that we gave them last year, instead of tracking it on its own line item, it was put into PPU. So there's no way for transparency to know where that money, if it was spent on security or what it was spent on. So there's just, I think that there's more if Andrea can get in there and start looking. This PPU account basically is a slush fund. I mean, to say it in a better term, I don't know what other term to use. Private sector would not operate this way. They would have to come back to their board in order to move money around from account to account in order to move it. And that's why this bill that's before the House right now, 2128, I think is a very bad idea. It allows movement of funds from accounts to accounts without the legislative body, which is the financing body, looking over it. So that's the reason I asked for this audit, to dig a little bit deeper than I've dug so far.
Commissioner Schaus.
I would just add, and of course the audit committee supported Commissioner Owenby's suggestion last Tuesday, and it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. I would support this. And I was thinking about this, reflecting on this thing over the last 4 or 5 days. I thought I recalled that the developers gave that property to the Knox County. Now that just may be my.
Where are you talking about, North Shore?
Yeah,
they was supposed to be at a discounted rate. It wasn't given.
Okay, that it was not a.
It was part of the pilot and the TIF and all that.
Okay, part of the pilot that we approved for the Target and the Publix and those things. Okay,
that was part of the agreement.
Well, maybe we can get clarification.
Or part of the discussion of the agreement.
After Andrea does her review. Thank you.
Commissioner Smith.
Andrea, when do you think you could get back checking it? How long would it take you to check that out, in your opinion?
Once we get final approval, then I would say 4 to 6 weeks, depending on how quickly we can get in set meetings with.
See, here's our problem. We're right starting the budget process. We need to know this information really quick. So, yeah, thank you.
All right, any other discussion?
Could we add a friendly amendment to that says this is priority?
Oh, I don't know anything about rushing audit work. I don't know.
When I said 4 to 6 weeks, I meant once we get approval, that's how long it would take us to get information back, not before we start it, just to clarify.
Yeah. So, yeah, we can. I think she's aware that we desire it to be done. Yeah. Dr. McIntyre, you came down. Do you want to address, or do you just? I mean, it's up to you. I saw you walk down.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, first of all, I appreciate the opportunity for the auditor to take a look at the physical plant upgrade account. I think that there are two parts to this. One is we call minor, repairs and upgrades and routine maintenance physical plant upgrades. But as I understand it, the last few years, most of the items in the capital plan for the schools that are not major projects have gone into something that is accounted for as being called physical plant upgrades. So, I look forward to the conversation. I look forward to the review. But I also certainly would offer to any commissioner that if you have questions about how we do our business in the Knox County Schools, about how we account for things, about how we approach capital or anything that we do, instructional, operational, administrative, to please give me a call. I think you all have my phone numbers, and rather than going straight to an audit committee meeting and bringing some, fairly salacious allegations, it'd be a nice professional courtesy if myself or the school board heard from county commissioners that had concerns or issues to bring to the fore.
Commissioner Norman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I just had a comment for Andrea, just also related to this in terms of its timeliness. And I think it is true, and I think Andrea shared this with me, that even in that period of time when this is being reviewed, the 4 to 6 weeks or whatever, we have access to her work papers. Also, I guess that process would just, all we would do is just call you, Andrea. Is that true? Okay. Just wanted to make the commission aware of that.
I think we need to clarify a little bit, Andrea. Work papers are not public record.
They're not public record, but the commission, as the governing body, could contact me for updates of information.
Okay. I just want to clarify that. Commissioner Ormby.
Yeah, I just want to point out that I did request this information. I didn't go straight to the audit department, the audit committee. I requested it. I waited 16 days with no response. And if I'm correct, the law department can correct me, that the information should have got back to me within 7 days. So it wasn't like I ran straight to them and said, I'm going around you all. I requested it, and I even sent a reminder and still didn't get it back for 16 days. It wasn't until the report was done in the News Sentinel that I received it the very next day. And what I received, from my understanding, I mean, it could have been done in a couple of days. I mean, I don't see why it would have taken 16 days. So, I mean, I didn't go around anybody. I tried to stick to the timeline, and I tried to go to every person I needed to before I went to the audit committee.
Except for me, Commissioner. So if my point is, if you have questions, if you are making a request for information that is not getting to you in a timely manner from my staff, certainly would appreciate a call to me to let me know that you're not that the time frame is not meeting your needs, and I'd be glad to try to expedite that information to you.
Okay, I respect that, but I requested it from Ron McPherson. If he didn't communicate that with you, that's on your all side. You know.
All right, we have a motion on the floor and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next item.
Question.
Answer.
Will this have to be approved at the regular commission meeting since it was unanimous here today before she can start?
Yeah, she can get things ready, but the approval will come officially Monday, and actually when mayor signs the document. So we'll get that, but she can start the working papers. Next item.